And earlier today, just a short while back, I spoke to Ambassador Taranjit Singh Sandhu, India's former ambassador to the United States, about the Modi-Vance visit, the optics and the substance beyond the optics. Take a look. What are his impressions of India that you can share with us? I mean, of course, he's married to somebody from India, and we've seen him, celebrate festivals of our country, the entire family gathering together on Deepavali. But does that have an impact when there is a relationship between two countries? When President Trump's administration tries for America first, Prime Minister Narendra Modi tries for India first, and you have taken that relationship forward as India's ambassador to the United States of America. Do these personal relationships help tide over niggles and problems that may arise?
Of course they do. And you know that he met right at the start of his tenure. He met Prime Minister in Paris, and you already see him here. And as far as Indian Americans are concerned, he has a very good relationship. You know, in Ohio, the Indian Americans are quite a dominant presence. In fact, I know from the personal thing, because my father and mother both studied in Ohio State University, where Vice President Vance has also gone. So Indian Americans already have a good relationship with him. And then you have mentioned about Usha, and you have seen him very respectful for Indian customs. And even if you read his book, I think he's quite open. So therefore, even here, you are showing the pictures. What was the first place he visited? I think the point definitely has gone home. But what is important? The important part here is that, look, the Prime Minister is very, very smart at the diplomacy part. And here is an important input giver in the United States political administration. And you have him here, and people here, Indians anyway are always very welcoming. Look at the visit of 2020 Feb, when President Trump came here and to Ahmedabad. I can tell you that any Republican senator and congressman I spoke at that time, just before the COVID hit, President Trump had already spoken about it. Also, this time when Prime Minister Modi was there, that's one of the things he remembered, 140,000 people coming and welcoming him.
Oh, absolutely, sir. In fact, I'd covered both Namaste Trump at Ahmedabad and Howdy Modi at Houston, Texas at the NRG Stadium. The energy there had to be seen, and I'm sure political leaders keep that in mind. But when it comes to the comprehensive strategic partnership between America and India, both the countries need each other. But is this BTA? One, it's an opportunity, but two, can it also lead to problems? Is it leading to problems, or will the two sides be willing to accommodate each other?
So see, Gaurav, any relationship has complications. Even our relationships at home have complications. They have to be tackled. So during Trump 1, there were issues, but they were tackled. During Trump 2, there are lots of issues. We are not talking just about United States and India. There is a worldwide issue of trade that is coming up. But if you look at the light within that, I think the Indian aspect, essentially the balance, will be much more easier achieved than many other complications. But you touched a very important point. That is the strategic relationship. Look, I think even a child can see that as the time is progressing, you are seeing some of the powers that are not that friendly to United States are already testing it. So as we move ahead, be a bit patient. I think this strategic relationship is only bound to go deeper, and it will flower more. I will only point to the Indo-Pacific Strategy, which came out towards the end of Trump 1. If you look at it, you can see the important role which India was to play in his thinking. And I'm sure in this coming days, that will play a significant aspect in settlement of what you are looking at, some of the problems.
So that's a very significant point. If I were to read between the lines, it's a very, very major point that you're making here. This year, India is also hosting the Quad Summit, which we were to hold last year in the United the States of America. Wanted President Biden to host it as his farewell, Quad. But this year, when Quad Summit happens in India, President Trump will be here. How would you view the Indo-Pacific strategy moving forward?
Absolutely. A Quad will be, and if you remember, during Trump's first presidency, Quad was given a huge lift. And President Trump and his team at National Security Council at that time were very significantly invested. And here I may point out, incidentally, at end of his presidency, President Trump gave a highest award to all the 4 Quad leaders. And I had received it on behalf of Prime Minister Modi then. So Quad is a significant aspect. And when President Trump comes here, I'm sure you will see, and you can certainly be confident that the present establishment here will make it a memorable visit for President Trump.
Perhaps his last visit to India was extremely significant in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and he's talked about it. And you also had a role to play in it in ensuring that he does come to India at a time when he seemed a little skeptical initially, and I'd love you to share that story. But I also want you to weigh in on the tariffs America has imposed on, one, China, 245% in instances, and on countries that are seen as very close to China, or China may use their ports to export to the United States of America. So there's a method in the madness in what Donald Trump appears to be doing, Ambassador.
Well, I don't want to be giving commentary on what's happening. You know that politics is complicated and international politics is certainly complicated. This is not the last word. And that's why I said just be patient and see how the negotiations proceed worldwide. I'm confident that India-US relationship is bound to deepen, and certainly some of the other aspects will play an important role. And here is an opportunity. There is no doubt that any country can't go it all alone. So there are significant aspects, and we have the international production system today in which you require reliable supply chains. And I do know that United States certainly regards India as a reliable partner.
China has been, issuing, if I may, threats as some countries view it, or warnings as some others may perceive it to be, that in case they want to do deals which adversely impact China's interests, there will be either consequences or countermeasures. How would you view that, sir?
So I think many of the countries around know the past conduct, and so it's no secret. But again, we have China as our neighbor, and I'm sure the current government is well aware of tackling China because it has. But that also points to, look, we never invited China to come to our border. They came on their own, and do keep that in mind. And therefore, I think it's very significant that the countries which have a similar attitude need to cooperate. And that is the significance also, especially the strategic significance of United States-India partnership.
And that's the question I wanted to come to, Ambassador. The strategic bilateral cooperation, India is also looking at, when you talk about trust in terms of high-end critical technology coming to India, co-production, co-development. Are we moving beyond words? When you were our ambassador to the United States, there was a lot of push to ensure ISET results in technologies being manufactured in India, resulting in greater manufacture in India. Do you see that progressing the way it was envisaged?
Look, there's a new understanding which had come out. They are calling it trust. But essentially, the technology partnership is going to be important because India has the technology expertise, US has that, and do keep in mind that India has a very young population in an aging world. We have 50% of our population is 26 years and below. Now, it's true that things are moving towards AI, but keep in mind that AI also requires trained manpower. And where are you going to get that? You do need to feed in. That's only when AI will start giving you results. So India is going to be a significant player. And I'm sure this partnership, what is being called now as trust, is going to deepen more.
Ambassador Taranjit Sandhu for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks.